Welcome to
Hi.
my WOW Chats, words of wisdom with people I admire and respect. I have Mike Stewart.
Hello.
Thank you so much. So we're at the San Diego Pain Summit, and I just listened to your presentation. Oh my gosh, phenomenal. Thank you.
Thanks, Emma.
And
That's really kind.
The title of your presentation was?
More Than Words, how can we help people express their experience of pain? Which is a big topic to talk about at a conference.
And what I loved was what you were talking about metaphors and how you use metaphors. And the one thing, you had a question about asking patients, which I haven't done and I'm going to start doing, and you said, can you draw your pain?
Yeah.
And then you also had the one about the song.
Yeah.
And so why, tell us about that, why you do that, why it's important, and maybe, so I'm going to say one more thing, why even like people in pain might be listening, so maybe they could even get a tip from that. And also I have a lot of healthcare practitioners, especially physios, that listen to this. So, so maybe.
Well, I think the first thing to say is to start from a point of view of, we know that pain is hard to talk about. We know that people don't feel believed, they don't feel heard. So it's trying to find ways to try and help people feel believed and heard, to try and enable them to get their story out, to release it, to express it, because it's like living with this sort of, invisible disease that nobody can see. I always say to patients, imagine living with cancer and not feeling believed. That would be a dreadful thing. One of the greatest social injustices of our time is that millions of people are living out there with pain, but they don't feel believed and they can't talk about it, they can't get it out. David Biro talks about his own personal experience as a doctor who lives with pain, and he says, pain erects a wall between us and the outside world. At the same time, it prevents us from breaching that wall by communicating the experience to others. So if you were in pain, you can't get out and I can't get through. So we maybe need to find chisels. Things like asking people to draw their pain, or if your pain was a song, which song would it be, are essentially chisels. They're tools we can use to break down that communication barrier.
And if you can just briefly talk about what really, really was profound to me was that example you gave of the gentleman that you had that picture,
right.
And then and then can you just describe to people the picture that he drew, and then his wife just noticed the picture on the table the next day? Like, that just gave me shivers.
This guy was he was quite switched off, so his body language was very closed. He didn't really like the idea of being in a group, and when we asked them all in the group to start thinking about how would you draw your pain, there's a way that we lead into how would you draw your pain. We actually start with an experiment, and the experiment is a taste experiment. We get them to taste something, so we give them sweets or cookies or whatever, and we get them to write down 2 words that accurately describe what's on their taste buds. And most people go, oh well, it's sweet and tangy or something. Then we go, okay, fine, now try drawing what that would taste like. Try drawing it. So it's to try and give them a sense of, when you're trying to express an experience, whether it's taste or pain, it's hard to do in words. And we do this with our patients all the time in practice. What's your pain like? And they go, I don't know. And you go, come on, I've got a patient coming in now. Is it sharp? Is it achy? Is it throbbing? And they go, all of the above, none of the above. So maybe giving people the opportunity to move beyond words, to start thinking about how they might use it. So this guy went home, and for the first time ever, he drew his pain. And he came back, and he'd gone from this, and he was really engaging with the whole group. He drew a picture of a devil in a box with a padlock on top, and it wasn't something that would win an art prize. It wasn't like a Picasso painting.
Very simple.
People don't have to be able to draw. This is the thing. People sometimes go, I can't draw.
Well, and that's what I loved about that, because when he showed us the picture, it was like just a circle and another circle, like a snowman, just a circle with 2 sticks.
But an evil snowman.
With
devil.
2 sticks here, and then just in a square with a black dot on top. That's all it was.
Well, this is what we do. The language of pain is often in the Western world this language of agency. So talking about something dark and horrible, patients will talk about, my pain is devilish, it's spiteful. We use the same language. We always say gradual, insidious onset. Look at the word insidious. There are horror movies called Insidious. So we use this language of threat all the time, lanciating, sharp, burning, throbbing. So maybe giving people the opportunity to release their experience through more than just our words. And also, I think, as a teacher, as an educator, one of the biggest tools that I think I've developed over the years, and I go around the world teaching other people how to do this sort of thing, is how do we help people to get it out, to talk about it, rather than telling people? How do we help them to say, okay, how do we guide them towards releasing something, towards getting it out? I always get across this idea that you don't receive an education, you participate in an education. And one of the problems is, without the skills of teaching, what we often do is we cast our patients as passive recipients of information. You'll say, I've got this pain here, and then I'll say, let me tell you all about it. So I then talk for, there's this 10-minute monologue, and you just switch off. E.M. Forster once said, spoon feeding teaches us nothing but the shape of the spoon in the long run. And that's the problem with pain education, is it's often spoon feeding. It's just going, here you go, let me tell you about this.
Well, and I loved what you said too. I mean, we as healthcare providers, we educate people every single day. Like every patient interaction I have, I'm educating all the time. And I have not taken one formal class or training in education.
Right.
And I think, that's something so important. And I hope that our profession and healthcare professions get more sort of education training.
A lot of my work is trying to help people understand that dynamic relationship between, how much do you challenge someone, how much do you support someone, because that dynamic shifts. And if you get it wrong, if you challenge somebody too much and you don't support them enough, they retreat.
Right.
That's disempowering.
Yeah.
Equally though, if you support them too much and you don't challenge them enough, a bit of cuddle therapy, that's a problem, because then you make them dependent. So a teacher would always learn the skills of coaching, the skills of being able to gradually reduce support and gradually increase challenge, knowing what to do when people are stuck in their learning, when they're blocked. How do you spot learning blocks? What do you do about it? All those things. Basic skills, but we don't learn them.
Yeah, it's great. Oh, thank you. And you said it takes courage to be creative.
It does. That was Henri Matisse, the French artist.
I love that.
Creativity takes courage.
And that's something, like, you've inspired me, and I like to think I'm a good listener, and I'm always trying to do better and learn more, but this is something I'm going to try. I'm going to ask people that I work with to see if they want to draw their pain. So,
and I would say as well, if any people in pain are listening to this or watching this, your pain is real. Don't let anybody tell you that it's not, or don't ever think that it's not, because it is real. And I think what we have to get better at as people who are trying to help you is finding ways for you to know that it's real, for us to prove that it's real, because it's not fake. People don't fake their pain, it's real. So we believe you. That's the main message.
Thank you. Words of wisdom.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mike Stewart. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Thanks for watching this WOW Chat with Mike Stewart. He is a phenomenal educator and speaker, and he speaks all over the world, so check out his website. He may be in a location near you at nopain.co.uk. And check out some of my other WOW Chats that I have with other people that I admire and respect as they share their words of wisdom.